हेलो एवरीवन, मैं हूँ सिंधु चौहान और आप मुझे सुन रहे हैं रेडियो खांची 90.4 एफएम पे। और जैसा कि मैंने लास्ट टाइम आपसे प्रॉमिस किया था, मैं फिर से आ गई हूँ आपके साथ एक नए टॉपिक के साथ जो कि है फंक्शंस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं हमारा फर्स्ट फंक्शन ऑफ मैनेजमेंट जो कि है प्लानिंग। सो व्हाट इज प्लानिंग? प्लानिंग इज डिसाइडिंग इन एडवांस व्हाट टू डू, व्हेन टू डू and how to do. Planning bridges the gap from where we are and where we want to be. Suppose today you're scoring 60% of marks and you plan to get 90% of marks. So this gap can be filled with the help of planning. If you plan a proper course of action to achieve 90% marks, you can be successful. So planning determines the courses of action to achieve desired goals. It avoids confusion, uncertainties, risks, wastages, etc. The next function of management is organizing. Organizing is basically a process of bringing together the physical, the financial, and human resources and then developing productive relationship among them. To organize a business is to provide it with everything useful for its functioning. Organizing involves identification of activities, classification of grouping of activities, assignment of duties, delegation of authority and creation of responsibility, coordinating authority and responsibility relationship. The next function and the third function of management is staffing. Staffing is putting the right man on the right job. It is managing the organization structure through proper and effective selection, appraisal, and development of personnel. It involves manpower planning, recruitment, selection and placement, training and development, remuneration, performance appraisal, promotions and transfer. The fourth function of management is directing. Directing is the life spark of the enterprise which sets in motion the action of people. It is a process in which the managers instruct, guide, and oversee the performance of the workers to achieve predetermined goals. Directing as in involves supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. The fifth function of management is controlling. Controlling refers to the measurement of accomplishment against the standards and correct deviation. Controlling also helps in predicting deviations before they actually occur. There are 4 simple steps in controlling. First is establishment of standard performance. Second is measurement of actual performance. Third is comparison of actual performance with the standards and finding out deviation if any. And the last one is taking corrective action. Let's understand it with the help of a simple example. First, suppose there is a factory and it has established standard that in this year they will produce 12,000 motorbikes, right? So they have established a standard performance. Now end of the year, when they measure the actual performance, it is about 8,000. The production is about 8,000 motorbikes. Now if we compare it, the deviation is of 4,000 motorbikes. So now the company will try to find out what are the reasons for this deviation? Is it due to the lockout or due to the labor turnover or due to the insufficient funds, whatever may be the reason. And then a corrective action is being taken by the company so that this mistake is not repeated again. Okay, so this is all the concept of controlling. Now next move towards another topic, that is levels of management. So there are 3 levels of management, right? First is the top level management, second is the middle level management, and third is the lower level management. So let's see first of all what is the top level management. The top level management comprises of the senior most executives of the company. They are normally regarded as the chairman, the Chief Executive Officer, whom we call CEO, right? The Chief Operating Officer means the COO, the President and Vice President. Top management is a team consisting of managers from various operational levels managing marketing, finance, etc. For example, the Chief Finance Officer, the Vice President Marketing, whose primary task is to combine various components and regulate the actions of different units according to the overall objectives of the company. The middle level management. It is the connection between the top and the lower level managers. They are lower to the top managers and above to the first line managers. They are normally called as divisional heads, for instance, the production manager. Middle management is accountable for executing and regulating systems and maneuverings generated by the top management. And then comes the lower level management. Managers and supervisors make up the lower level of the management in the hierarchy of the business. Supervisors immediately manage the efforts of the workforce. Their power and ability are defined according to the maps drawn by the top management. Supervisory management performs a significant task in the system since they coordinate with the genuine workforce and move in the directions of the middle management to the employees. With this, we come to an end to the levels of management. Now, let's see a very small topic called the span of management. Dear friends, always remember that depending upon the complexity of organizational activities and relationships among superiors and subordinates, it becomes important that the superiors manage an optimum number of subordinates that result in optimum organizational output. All the subordinates cannot be managed by one superior. There has to be a limit on the number of subordinates who can be effectively managed by one superior. The number of subordinates that a superior can effectively supervise is known as span of management, also called as span of control. In the 19th and the middle of the 20th century, management writers determined 5 or 6 as the optimum number that a manager could effectively manage at the upper level. Beyond this number, managers faced problems like overburdened with the work. They had difficulty in coordinating the activities of a large number of people. They also had difficulty in controlling. So thus the optimum number of subordinates that a manager could supervise was determinable, but today it is not so. Exact number of employees that managers can effectively supervise cannot be defined. Span of management is quite situational in nature. Depending on the number of employees that can be supervised or controlled by managers, there can be two kinds of structures in the organization, right? First is the tall structure and second is the flat structure. Now let's see what is the tall structure. So tall structures are found in classical bureaucratic organizations. In this structure, a manager can supervise less number of subordinates. He can therefore exercise tight control over their activities. This creates large number of levels in the organization. This is also known as narrow span of control. As every coin has two sides, similarly, the tall structure also has both merits and demerits of its own. So let's see what are the merits. Now, managers can closely supervise the activities of the subordinates, one of the merit. Another, there can be better communication amongst superiors and subordinates. It promotes personal relationship among superiors and subordinates. It has control on the subordinates, which can be tightened in a narrow span. And what are the limitations or the demerits? Let's see. It creates many levels in the organization structure, which complicates the coordination among levels. More managers are required to supervise the subordinates, so thus it is a costly affair for the firm. The gap between top managers and workers is increasing, and so the communication process gets slow. Decision making become difficult sometimes because there are so many levels. Superiors perform routine jobs of supervising the subordinates and have less time for strategic matters. Another demerit is that strict control leads to low morale and job satisfaction. So this can affect productivity in the long run. Other than this, employees work under strict control of superiors. So decision making is primarily centralized here. This restricts employees' creative and innovative abilities. The next structure is the flat structure. Flat structures have a wide span of control. So when superior supervises a large number of subordinates, flat structure is created with lesser number of hierarchical levels. Merits of a flat structure, what are they? Let's see what are they. So there is a low cost as less number of managers can supervise organizational activities. There is effective communication as the number of level is very less. It promotes innovative abilities of the top management. Other than this, subordinates perform the work efficiently since they are considered worthy of doing so by the superiors. Apart from this, another merit is that the decision-making process is effective as superiors delegate authority to subordinates. They are relieved of routine matters and concentrate on strategic matter. So, the decision making is decentralized over here. And what are the demerits or the limitations of flat structure? They are as follows. Superiors cannot closely supervise the activities of the employee. The managers may find it difficult to coordinate the activities of subordinates. Another limitation is that subordinates have to be trained so that dilution of control does not affect organizational productivity. With this, we come to an end of the topic span of management. आप सुन रहे थे मुझे रेडियो खांची 90.4 FM पे और मैं वादा करती हूँ कि मैं अगली बार कोई और इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक मैनेजमेंट से रिलेटेड आपके लिए लेकर आऊँगी. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू.